Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Saturday. I'm back with another video, and we got to get into this Claressa Shields and Cam Newton interview, which to me was an epic fail because Clarissa lied and she hated, like she always does. She is fixated on coming for Layla, Remy, and Alicia, and it's as simple as that. She continues to speak on these three women every time she does an interview now. Every single time. She has no one else. She's asked the same questions now. She's given the same answers and just throwing some extra hate up in it, in her answers. And when is it going to stop? Who is it going to take to shut her up when it comes to speaking on them in these interviews? Who is it going to be? I know Remy is trying, or at least ignoring it, not giving it any energy, any attention. But at this point, I do think it's time for Remy to say something. I really do. Enough. It's enough now of Clarissa constantly bringing her up in her interviews. It is enough of her thinking she can speak on whatever went down between Remy and Papoose. It is enough. Enough of her talking. Because the second someone says something about her, she runs and acts as if they cannot do that. They can't talk about her. They can't tell truths about her. They can't do it. She loses her mind when people talk about her. And she goes on every single interview and says whatever it is she wants to say. Now, Cam asked her a lot of questions because the interview was like over an hour long. He asked her a lot of questions, but he did not follow up on a lot of questions. When it came to her answers, especially with her acting like she didn't know who Papoose was when she met him, he definitely should have pushed back on that. He definitely should have pushed back more when she spoke on his divorce. Now, we got Papoose, who had the nerve to post something last night, the audacity to say, post a picture of Pinocchio and say the truth don't need no explanation. I guess he's responding to what Remy said about the money, him wanting half of her money. Papoose, first of all, that was a week ago. Why are you waiting for Clarissa's interview to drop for you to address Remy when you had a whole week to do so? And you said nothing. It seems like at this point that him and Clarissa are tag teaming Remy online. Remy did an interview with Memphis Bleak. She did not Drink Champs, Joe and Jada. She's doing interviews and she's not mentioning y'all. She did Angie Martinez. She didn't mention y'all. I really think it's time for her to really tell her story, her side of things, that Clarissa thinks and swears that she knows. She doesn't know. And she needs to stop talking about her. Even if you're asked, because I know people will probably say in the comments like, oh, well, he asked her about Remy. So what? All she has to do is say, stop, I'm not talking about her. Don't ask me about her. That's all she has to say. All she can say is, oh, they're going through a divorce and, that's it. All of this stuff about her and Easy and how long they've been married and the daughter, it's no need. It's no need for Clarissa to really take it there. And she keeps doing it because nobody's stopping her. Nobody's stopping her. Now let's look at when he asked her about a broken home.
There's a narrative that says you broke up a happy home.
That never happened. I let them run with that narrative because what they tell us as celebrities, don't respond to it, don't say nothing, don't talk about it. And I had a movie coming out around that time, my biopic, The Fire Inside. Everybody was like, Clarissa, this is too big of a moment. My movie came out Christmas Day and was in theaters for 3 months. I'm not about to try to explain to nobody what she did before I even met him, how she was with this dude and all this stuff. Me and him know the truth. It's a timeline between that stuff. Why you think he knocked Buddy out? That was back in 2021, 2022. I ain't know Pap. I met him 2024, July 6th to be exact. So it wasn't a happy home to break up.
What was the narrative that says you broke up a happy home?
That never happened. I let them run with that narrative because...
You see how she just literally told on Papoose, actually. I'm not even going to say on herself. This is how crazy this sounds. Did you hear what she said as far as Remy, I guess, being the reason why her and Papoose are divorced or the reason why he filed for divorce? And she mentioned the Easy situation and him knocking him out. And she said that happened in 2021 or 2022 is what she said. And that she ended up getting with Papoose in 2024. Now, if that's the reason why he filed for divorce, why did it take him 3 years? Why did it take him getting with you and being exposed to file? Why was he still living in the same house as Remy for 3 years if Remy was with Easy and they were done, meaning he was finished with the relationship, versus him possibly wanting to stay and work it out? So maybe the situation with Easy didn't end their marriage, but him messing with you did, Clarissa. He had all of that time to leave Remy or file for divorce, move out of the house, get a job. He had all of that time. So you're sitting here putting a date on how long ago that happened when Easy and Remy and all of that and Papoose knocking him out. And then from that incident happening all up until 2024, December of it, he was still staying at home with Remy. So yes, you did break up a home. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That was the deciding factor. That was the deal breaker when Remy said you got to get out. She doesn't realize she's trying to save face and make excuses for Papoose about he filed. He should have been filed if he was done. If the marriage was over, he could have been filed. And that's why I would love for Remy to fill in some of these pieces. It's gaps in this. And it's time, we need some timestamps. We need some things to prove that, Clarissa, you were indeed the reason why he got kicked out of that house. She doesn't want to be called a homewrecker because that's literally what she did. You are Clarissa. Whatever Remy was willing to hang on to with Papoose before ended for real, you coming along and him finding out that you and him were messing around, he had to go because of that. So it was you. And she wasn't holding him hostage staying in that house. He could have been left. As a man, he could have left. Just like they would say to women. If a woman says, oh, I stayed, it would be, why did you stay? Why did you stay? Why didn't you go? It's the same thing for him. Why didn't you leave? If Remy was this person just cheating on you and the marriage was over with, why didn't he leave before you came around, Clarissa? That's what we need to know. That's what needs to be asked. And nobody's doing that. Let's get into this second part of this question.
What was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
The little living situation, we on the phone all day. We go to sleep on the phone every night. That's my non-negotiable. Did that for 6 months. 6 months straight. He's never given me no reason to not trust him or to not believe him. Any woman, a guy tell you he's still going through a marriage or whatever and he's trying to figure out how to divorce whatever. Any woman is like, yeah, right. Any woman. So I'm like, yeah, right. So he had to prove to me that that was the case.
What was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
The little living situation, we on the phone all day. We go to sleep on the phone.
So Papoose and Clarissa were acting like they were in middle school. This is a 50-year-old man that has to prove that he wants to be with somebody by being on the phone with them all day and all night. Like he has nothing else to do. Thank you for letting us know that Papoose was absolutely doing nothing while he was laying up on that couch. He was doing nothing. He had nothing else to tend to. You're sitting here saying that he had the time to be on the phone with you all day and then fall asleep on the phone with you at night to prove that he wasn't with his wife, even though he was still living with his wife. Do you hear how that sounds? That's all you guys knowing. And on top of this, what am I forgetting? Hold on. Let's not forget the fact Clarissa she was engaged. She had a fiance and she also had Maserati bud. During this time that she wants to sit and put the focus on Remy supposedly being with Easy when she wasn't asked about Tony Rich. She wasn't asked about Maserati bud. So she's acting like she was this single person with Papoose who, Remy did him dirty. So he had to file for divorce. He was tired of living with her, even though he was still living with her. And Clarissa was just innocent in this. Cam Newton did not ask her about Tony Rich. He did not say to her when she's talking about being on the phone and the movie coming out, why didn't he say to her like, okay, well, I did my research myself and I saw that you were dating Tony Rich at the time. You were engaged. What happened to that? How did that end? And how did you get with Papoose because of that? That wasn't asked. She always wants to talk about Remy. She always wants to make it seem like, oh, this is the reason why I got with Papoose because Remy cheated on him. He knocked out Easy and he filed for divorce. Nobody's asking her about her dirt. Nobody. She just let us know how Papoose had absolutely nothing going on. Nothing going on. Let's get into this last part of this question.
The case.
What's the holdup?
They've been to court and everything.
Oh.
Divorce doesn't happen overnight. I don't know how long they was married, 16 something plus years. That's a lot of stuff to divide and figure out, and it's a kid involved. So it's not something that's like.
Could you ever see a day where you and Remy see eye to eye and can communicate?
That's when people hold themselves accountable. This whole story about mistresses and getting cheated on shit gotta stop. That never existed. I don't got no smoke with her. It's not beef. I don't know why they try to make it seem like it's beef. May she dislike me? Sure. So, I feel like all that stuff comes over time. But it's nothing that I can say like, oh, she did this to me, so it's unforgivable. Or I did this to her. It's nothing like that. I think the fans and people try to create these narratives and be honest and be truthful. Don't paint me out to be something that I'm not. I'm not a woman who chase nobody else's man. I'm not a woman who even like men that got women. It's like, if you got a woman who you're in a relationship with and you trying to talk to me, I will hoe you like the case.
What's the holdup?
They've been to court and everything.
Oh.
Divorce doesn't happen overnight. I don't know how long they was married, 16.
That part, I just can't believe she just said all of that. She said Remy needs to hold herself accountable. She doesn't date a man that has a woman, but you can date a man that's married. You can date a man that's married, but you can't date a man that has a woman. Do you hear how that sounds? She's acting like she don't have beef with Remy. And how, yes, she may not like me. Then she talking about they've been to court, divorce don't happen overnight. This is why I think Papoose tells her to say these things. And then he runs and goes and posts and act like the truth don't need no explanation. Meanwhile, you're telling Clarissa what to say. How to explain. You're telling her how to explain. But yet the truth don't need no explanation. The two of them are so toxic, and it just may take her having to have a baby for it to go the way it needs to go. It's going to be a day where this situationship goes all the way left. And Clarissa's going to be stuck with a baby because she think having a baby is going to make Papoose move in with her, live with her, and change the dynamic of the way their situationship is already playing out, the way it's already going. I just wish that Remy would really speak about this and clear everything up so that Clarissa, in her next interview or whenever she's asked again, she knows to shut up. It really needs to come to that at this point. I'm tired of her. Then her denying mistresses and things getting cheated on, and the only way she'll be able to have a conversation with Remy is if she holds herself accountable. Like, girl, who do you think you are? That's why I would love for Remy to really release the truth or speak about the truth. Give her side of it so that those clips of her calling Clarissa out and putting it out there how Clarissa had a fiance and another man on the side that she was sending her location to for him to come over for what was it, Thanksgiving or something? It's to the point now where I really would love to hear for Remy to speak. Like, I really would. I really would love to hear Remy speak about this. I really don't want her to ignore it anymore. It needs to be addressed. Because Clarissa is out of line. And I think she's just going to keep on going and going until Remy stops her dead in her tracks. That's what I feel. Like, that's all I was thinking when I was watching this yesterday. I'm like, it's time for Remy to say something. It's time for her to clear this up. It's time for her to call Clarissa out and put her right in her place. NDA or not, I don't even care about that at this point. It's time for Remy to say what she has to say because Clarissa keeps speaking on her. She keeps speaking on her. So guys, let me know what you think. Drop a comment, like this video, please. Subscribe to my channel, hype the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to all you again soon.